Hello, hello, hello. The Swiss and Belgium have been eliminated. I have with me Kyle Pereira and joining us are Vansh and Tarish. Boys, how's it going?
Good man, going great. How are you?
What's up, man?
So, boys, exciting day of football yesterday. Vansh, I'll start with you. Heart goes out to the Swiss.
Yeah, man. It's a hard one, especially after the France game. It's like almost like they got it right on penalties once, the second time as well.
I think we have a bad connection with Vansh. Tarish, I'll take that question to you. Heartbreak for the Swiss.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that game was very boring. Like, the Swiss deserved to actually win that game, if you ask me. But like, that's why it makes it even worse. Like the penalty shootout, when it comes down to a penalty shootout, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just luck of the draw at the end of the day. I wish there was a better way of deciding a game. But it makes it even worse when you go down to penalty shootouts and then you lose that way. Like Vargas missed. Like I thought Vargas played so well in the game, and then missing that penalty made it even worse for him. Like he played really well in the game, but then when it comes down to it, some people have the fucking that that mentality. Some people don't, you know. So yeah.
And we've got Vansh back. Vansh, Sommer had a great game, but it's really sad to see them go down that way. Body on the line stuff. A lot of the game with 10 men, and they still managed to get it down to penalties.
Yeah, man. I feel like their goal of the game was basically to survive, and they did survive. They practically did all they had to, and then like Tarish said, it came down to chance. I don't know how they couldn't hold their own. I thought red. You really need that holding force in their midfield. Wasn't there. I definitely didn't think they had it in them, but honestly, it was pain to let them back in. I looked at that Shaqiri goal a couple of times. They lost it and they lost it once. They won it back and then they lost it again. And then somehow they've squandered another touch to the Swiss for the fourth time in like 10 seconds. And they got punished and then they got rattled, man. I think that's eventually going to be Spain's downfall. But yeah, man, still hard one for the Swiss.
And KP, you're going to love to hear this, but Shaqiri's made me eat my words again with a goal. But a couple of things. I think probably the red card. There was a talk about the fact that the referee was English, so it was a little harsh because he must be used to these kind of tackles in the Premier League, and also the fact that Luis Enrique made some strange decisions, taking off Morata so early on in the second half. While he is probably your best striker in the side. So was that a mistake? Because if not for the red card, Switzerland had the upper hand.
That red card, I don't think it should have been awarded a red card. That was merely a yellow card challenge, if you ask me. Yes, he lunged into the tackle, but there was no malice or aggression in that tackles. What can you say about Jan Sommer, to be honest? Like,
beast.
Like, those double, triple-handed saves. He was a standout player right up from the group, right up to the knockout. And yeah, like I agree with the guys as well that Spain went through basically because of Swiss being rather unlucky, in my opinion. And the own goal, the red card, taking it all the way to penalties. I mean, even Akanji's penalty, what was that penalty? Like, you can't be two-stepping and then taking a penalty.
Even Shah.
Like no, this might sound dumb, but the penalties that were missed were like very bad penalties.
Yeah, they were shy.
Like they were very badly taken penalties. Like you look at all of them, even Busquets.
Even Busquets, man.
Like that.
Busquets got unlucky. Like he got the post.
Man, it looked like he scuffed the ground or something when he was gonna go take that shot. Like
dude, honestly, also that sets I feel like that's another chance. Like Switzerland have just been handed out freebies from Spain all game long, and then like you see their captain, their most experienced player, miss a penalty like that. You've got to get it in the bag. You've got Sommer, who's had an insane game. It's like it was all meant to be theirs. I don't know how it's just gone against them.
Switzerland missed Xhaka, dude. That's the one thing I took away from that game. I never thought I'd say that. I don't like the guys. But Switzerland really missed Xhaka this game. I think Xhaka could have turned the game for them.
I think I said it on the group where, I messaged Carl, since he's an Arsenal fan, saying that I actually liked Xhaka this tournament. He's in the team talks, he's in the middle. But concern for Spain because they're going to come up against Italy, who I feel, according to me, they kind of thrashed Belgium. Belgium got lucky with that goal, but Tarish, I'll start with you. Italy was just too strong.
Italy smashed them. Like even that penalty that they got, like besides that penalty, I don't know, there were maybe one real chance in the second half and then that other De Bruyne chance in the first half. Besides that, Italy just seemed to have control of the game. Like their midfield is so good. Like Barella, Verratti, and Jorginho are playing out of their minds this tournament. I didn't rate them going into it, but then just watching them play every game, I think Italy have the best chance of winning the whole thing. Currently, out of the teams that are there, I think Italy have the best chance of winning. Like they were clinical in front of goal. They didn't really they defended their hearts out. They defended so well, and like Donnarumma's like that guy's gonna be so good when he grows up. Like that
Best
guy's
in the world,
even better
right
than he is right now. Like that's scary to think about.
Yeah.
It's scary that you said he's going to be so good when he grows up because he's already been there for quite a long time.
And he's a kid. He's younger than me, dude. I can't believe that.
Okay, then someone's getting the age card in play. But yes, the Italy picking up the tournament is not going to go down well with the man in the white t-shirt, but we'll come to him later. Once speaking of Donnarumma, I think, those couple of saves from De Bruyne and Lukaku kept them in the game. But someone who did not really light it up in the previous games was Insigne. I mean, he was everywhere. He was attacking, he was defending, and that is probably a goal of the tournament contender.
Yeah, I mean, goal of the tournament. There have been more beautiful goals, potentially, arguably, but that one, just the way he took a couple players, the occasion, he was probably the calmest man in the stadium at that point. Got the bend, got everything, but I think it's just like how they work as a unit is so different to any Italy we've seen before. Even the Italian style of football, people would call it boring. It's very different now. I think it's so weird when you think of them because they haven't got one player who you can say is like irreplaceable. You know what I mean? They're all fairly great, like good or great players, but no one like out there. But they're all individual, amazing ball players. Whether it's wing backs, whether it's the players up front, like Immobile who can hold up. Donnarumma also, he's so big. I don't know how he gets across so quickly. Yeah, man, I don't know where they snuck up from, but like now, from out of nowhere, they're the favorites to win, in my opinion.
And Capes, coming to Italy, we've spoken of them, playing as a unit. You always talk about teams having that one big player, may it be a Ronaldo, a Lukaku, an Mbappe. This is a team which is not individuals, but it's a unit because there are no big names. But one name which I think they will miss in the semis and probably the finals is Spinazzola, their left back, who's ruled out. Now, how important is that?
I was actually going to say that, Spinazzola was the most important player in yesterday's game. And not only yesterday's game, but the whole lead up until yesterday's game. And just watching him get stretched off was, truly heartbreaking because as we've seen in the whole tournament, he covers the entire left-hand side. Like I'm literally talking from corner flag to corner flag. And even that block against Lukaku was just like, he did it out of reaction. He just moved his body in the way of the shot. And having said that, Spinazzola is the fastest player at this 2020 tournament. He's clocked in at 34 kilometers per hour. And again, sad to see him stretched off like that. But, I mean, I like what the guy said but about the Italians changing the way they're playing. But now you can really see that Italy are like grinding out wins. You saw it against Austria. You saw it against Belgium. They're like proper grinding the way like Verratti and Jorginho are playing football. And I don't know if you'll know this, but like Donnarumma, like we were talking about him growing up, he's conceded just 2 goals in his last 30 starts for Italy.
That's insane. Yeah, but honestly, even the grinding out is crazy.
Yeah.
There's no team that almost looks this comfortable grinding out. You see England a goal down or you see England a goal up. They look so uncomfortable sometimes in those kind of situations. But Italy are just like graceful in doing the dirty work, which is like kind of a big sign or like a big beacon for like showing that they're championship material.
The last time we've seen an Italy team play like this, I would say, is when they won the World Cup. Probably.
And they had better players then.
And they
although-
they had star
Yeah.
players then.
Yeah.
You know, they had like
They
real
still
stars.
have the same almost the same centre backs playing. I mean,
Yeah,
those
guys
yeah,
were
young
imagine
then.
that. They had the same center
it's
back.
crazy. But yes, coming from the side of death to probably the easier side of the road to the final.
As usual.
Our-
As usual.
As usual, England's involved. But our first game, Denmark versus the Czech Republic. Czech Republic looking strong, Denmark growing into the tournament. Czech Republic, great group stage, one loss against England, but took the game to Netherlands with 10 men. Once I'll start with you. Who's going to take this one?
For me, man, honestly, like I was like taking notes on this shit because I'm like, who is going to win this game? Because I can't call it Denmark when they've like not been super comfortable, but won at huge margins. Czech Republic for me haven't won at huge margins, but when they've looked good, they've looked really good. But I think Denmark is going to take it. I think they just have that little bit of edge, especially in this tournament, considering the last 2 weeks, I don't know, 2.5, 3 weeks they've had. It's been a absolute roller coaster. They've reacted very well. I don't know. I just feel like this is some of the biggest game probably the biggest game of their career for a lot of the Denmark players, and they've got an absolute unit right now. Besides maybe wingers that are like marquee wingers, they've got amazing players for every position, and I think that's what's just going to have the edge over Czech Republic.
And Tarish, all of England is going to be supporting England except for West Ham, who's going to be supporting the Czech Republic. So, do we have a holy shit moment with us today?
So we were talking about goal of the season. I'm going to say that dude scored the goal of the season or the goal of the tournament, Patrick Schick. But I think Denmark's going to win. Personally, I really like their team. I had them as dark horses to go to the final, maybe win this thing. It's sad what happened to Ericsson, but after that they've rallied and they're playing really well. I once said no real marquee wingers, but Mahler is playing wing back or has played wing back for them. He's been unbelievable. Damsgaard has been so good. Brathwaite has also been decent. Like they play really well together, and I rate Dolberg. So for me, the way they can break, the way they have pace, like they play smart. They do keep the ball. They generally have more of the ball than the other team, and the Czech don't really keep the ball like that. So I feel whoever controls the pace of the game is going to be able to win this one. I think Denmark will do a better job with that.
And Capes, are you going to play spoiler, or are you also going to go with Denmark?
No, I'm actually going to go with Denmark on this, to be very honest with you, because in spite of Czech Republic having won their previous 2 against Denmark created history for themselves in the Euros by scoring 4 goals in 2 consecutive games. The first against Russia, second against Wales. And their average shots are 18 shots a game and 7.3 shots on target in this Euros, which is, and like the boys were saying about Mikael Damsgaard, been directly involved in 7 goals in 6 appearances. Scoring 3, assisting 4. He's created more chances than anyone in that team, considering the likes of Brathwaite and Poulsen are there in the team, who are the strikers, the creative strikers, you may say.
Give me a score.
I'm going to go 3-1 Denmark.
Okay, Tarish.
Yeah, I was going to go 3-1, 4-1 Denmark. I'll go 4-1 because you said 3-1.
Wow,
4-1 again.
Only in FIFA mode. Okay, KP.
Yeah, let's go.
Can I play spoiler over here and say maybe 2-2 and then go into extra time and
Oh,
penalty?
damn.
Because
That'll
I
be a
think,
great game,
wow.
because see,
That'd be mad.
Patrick Schick, like we're all saying, he's the only player in that squad to score 4 goals, 4 appearances, and the last person to do that was Milan Baros in the Euros. So he is going to try and prove a point over here. I would say 2-2 and maybe Denmark winning it on penalties or in extra time 2-1, 3-1.
Honestly, I'm not going to change my prediction, but I could see that happening. Honestly, because even like a player like Souček hasn't grown into the tournament fully. He had a good header opportunity in the last game. I think he had one in the group stages as well. He's growing into it a little bit more. I mean, at the end of it, we're all football fans, so we'd love to see a sick game. 2-2 going to extra time would be class in this fixture. I also heard Poulsen and Vass are available. They were out. So they could be a thorn in this Czech side. But otherwise, I don't know. I just want to see a good game. I think it's going to be KG, but 2-2 in 90 would be dope.
Man,
I'm
you
going to
said
go for a
2-2
Czech
in
Republic
90.
win.
My 4-1 looks really bad now.
Yeah, I
Going
mean,
extra time.
anyway, all of y'all, I'm going to go Czech Republic. Money on the line, fantasy points on the line. But moving on to the big game, and I'm going to put you boys on hold for a bit because the man of the moment in the jersey, Kyle Pereira. England take on Ukraine. First of all, did you expect to take on Ukraine in the quarterfinals?
No, I didn't expect that.
And now that you are taking them on, what do you expect from this game?
I don't want to count any chickens before they hatch because I didn't for the Germany game as well. Everyone gave me so much shit. Muller is gonna do this, Gnabry is gonna do this, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner. I mean, we played that German game. We played 5 at the back. You said
No. You played 8 at the back.
Doesn't matter. We can play 10 at the back also with a keeper right behind you. It's fine. It still came out with a 2-0 victory. What can I say? I mean, the only other team to have less expected goals than us is Italy at 2.1, and we're at 2.7. What can I say about these things? The player with the most amount of completed passes is Laporte at 95%, and right there 94% is John Stones. What are you going to say about all these things now?
Before
I'm
Tarish
waiting.
takes off on
I
my
know,
boy,
Tarish
I'm gonna back up
I'm
KP
going
a
to keep
little
Tarish
bit.
for last.
I'm gonna back up KP a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not like a big England fan that like I'm like super romanticized about them winning it and all. Honestly, I think at this point, if you look at the tournament, I want them to win it, sure, because they've never won it before. I think they've given up on wanting to win it beautifully. They're gonna get it done, however ugly it looks. But at this point, they've got the 2 easiest fixtures to the road to the final. They can see it as stepping stones in their confidence. And whoever they end up seeing finally, it'll probably be Italy. That'll be the final one big test because I don't think these are massive tests for England so far. That's why I think they'll take it. Over to you, Taz.
Hey, Tarish, I actually had a question for you after giving you a fact that the only team yet to concede in this tournament
I know.
is England.
I know.
So, in
I'll
3,
tell you,
2,
I'll-
1.
I'll tell you what I hate more than anything is that England has the squad to play beautiful football, right? They have the squad, they have the players, they have that youth, right? But they choose to play like the way they play, dude. Like, I don't understand. They're just not like, I don't know, why haven't you played Sancho yet? I think England's going to win this game because England always get the easiest teams to play. England somehow before this have always fucked it up. So I doubt they're going to do that this time around. They'll probably play everyone except Kane. You know, everyone behind the ball, everyone in front of the ball except Kane. You know, but I think England have an unbelievable team. I just don't want them to win anything. Like, I just don't want them to win anything. Because they're a team that can sum up. You have unbelievable potential, unbelievable talent, an unbelievable pool of players to pick from. And somehow every big tournament, you play idiots and you fucking play some dumbass team and you take Jordan Henderson with you and shit. Like, I don't understand.
So, there are a couple of guys in the studio, Tarish, who are asking for your address after this. There is a certain Liverpool fan who is burst out at Jordan Henderson.
He's a Liverpool fan.
I'm a massive
Wow.
Liverpool fan. And I think
Then-
Henderson needs to get the fuck out of my club. Milner needs to get the fuck out of my club. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain needs to get out of my club. Bro, like, who are you? Who are these people, bro? They're not good footballers. They run around the pitch and like work. Like Henderson will point and shout, "Oh, you're not doing your job," and then he'll pass back to his defender. He'll get the ball. He'll look up. Oh, is there someone there? Oh, he's making a run. Oh, I'll pass back to my defender. Like, this is bloody fun. Bro, don't get me started on this.
What I like about him, he wants the player to tackle him. He wants the player to rush him because he can just sidestep them or he can take the foul, create that opportunity to give a free kick, create a set piece. I think that's great. And I mean, Raheem Sterling, just the player in the position, in the right position at the right time. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this. Raheem Sterling is in the right place at the right time. can't say much about that.
And I was just about to get to that. I've said this a lot of times before that, both of us, especially as United fans, we've seen Pogba play contrasting games for club and country. Lindelof, Harry Maguire for that matter. Who would think that a Harry Maguire is in a team that has not conceded? Whereas Tarish, I do want to take this shot at you, but Liverpool players, I don't know what to say. One of them is on the Spanish bench.
Didn't Tyrone Mings play for a bunch of games before Harry
Yeah,
Maguire?
but Harry Maguire kept 2 clean sheets. Do you know what that means for United fans?
Bro, United fans have just spent 100 plus million on Jadon Sancho. They're about to spend all this other money. It makes no difference.
We're going to keep this for pre-season. But the point I was getting at is that these players are completely different when it comes to, playing for country. Yeah. Now, England are stacked. They're actually stacked. But we haven't spoken enough about Ukraine, who, whatever said and done, have made it to the quarterfinals. They didn't have Malinovsky in the side last time. They won it 3 seconds before, the final whistle. So, do they stand a chance, Vansh?
Frankly, no. I don't think they do on paper or realistically. It'll take a moment of brilliance, individual brilliance, something like that Yarmolenko goal out of nowhere, except earlier, to shock England. Because I feel like if England concede that first goal, the first goal of the tournament, and if they concede it before they've scored in the game, that's the only way I feel like they could get rattled. Because when England are rattled, they're a very different England. That's the only opportunity this little window of opportunity that I'd give to the Ukraine team. I think Zinchenko has looked really good in the last couple games. He could maybe provide something. His crosses are sometimes right on point. So if he can meet like Yaremchuk with a header, who we know is great in the air, that could be something. We need maybe a combination of individual brilliance or one moment that sparks it for Ukraine. But otherwise, I think it's going to be England that takes it. There's just too much talent in that team.
And Tarish, do you agree? If England concede and Ukraine have enough to just hold on for the remaining 70, 60 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do we know if Yarmolenko's okay? Wasn't he like injured and then substituted at the end of the last game?
He's tipped to start. He's tipped to be fine.
So then I think Ukraine have enough to hit England on the break early. And we haven't seen how England react to going down, right? We don't know what their mentality is like if they do get punched in the face and then have to claw back into the game, right? What will Gareth Southgate do in that moment? Like, we don't know tactically what kind of substitutions he would make to chase the game. We know what he would do to defend the game. We don't know what he's going to do to chase the game. So I think Ukraine do have the ability to hit them on the counter, hit them quickly. They have big guys in the box that will give England defenders a tough time, right? They'll be a little rough. So let's see. I think Ukraine do have, like every team in football, has the ability to steal a game, right? Every team can steal a game. Like, it's just about where the mentality is at. I think Ukraine can do it. It's more about whether England can chase a game or not, if that does happen.
So I said yesterday that, for me, the Spain and England games were the easiest. Clearly, I was wrong about yesterday's game. Coming to today's game, KP, I want to come to you first. I want a scoreline.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say because I feel like Yarmolenko, if he is going to start, he is right now on goal involvements in the Euros. He's tied with Shevchenko. And I don't know, I think if he scores, like Vansh is saying, they can possibly pull out a rabbit out of this hat. I mean, I'd say 2-1 to England, hopefully.
Vansh.
I was also going to go 2-1 to England because I think they will get that first goal. Like I said, it'll be a very cagey start. So if Ukraine managed to get the first goal somehow in the early second half or middle of the second half, they could win it. But I think England will manage to get that first goal, maybe concede a late goal at the end of the game to make it 2-1, but I'll go England win 2-1.
And Tarish, I know it will hurt you to say England will win, but do you feel so too?
Yeah, I mean, England are going to win for sure. I just really want to say 1-0 Ukraine. Like Harry Kane loses his cool, gets a red card and gets sent off and shit. But it's probably going to be 2-1 England or 2-0 England. Like, I don't know if Ukraine can score. I just don't know. We have to see. Like, England haven't conceded a single goal.
England's got to win. I have 3 players. If they lose, I get minus points in fantasy. So behave yourselves. But boys, thank you very much for joining us. Also, guys, do check out Ballsy. Looks a little bit like Tarish without the hat, but they're equally cute. And also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Tarish, once, thank you for taking our time and talking to us.
Thank you,
Hopefully
man. This
results
was fun.
go the way you guys have predicted it. But yes, thank you. Stay home and stay safe.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
See you.